Today we're going to be looking at times Dr. Phil lost it. The one person you don't want to irritate is Dr. Phil, and he freaked out in these people.
Did you go to 5th grade? Everyone remembers Danielle Bergoli, aka Cash Meow Side Girl.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people give her hate, but didn't she make $50 million in a year on OnlyFans? Say whatever you want about the platform, but she's a multi-millionaire, if not a multi-millionaire by the age of like 19. So to me, she's very successful.
She went viral thanks to her rebellious behavior, weird phrases, and fake street accent. But Phil wasn't having any of it.
I mean, to be fair, Dr. Phil is the reason she is where she is, because of him. You know, he made her famous.
After Danielle gives a smart alecky, poor grammar-filled remark about stealing a car, Phil stares in disbelief before asking her if she went to the 5th grade.
Did you go to the 5th grade?
Damn, Dr. Phil proper is a savage, isn't he? It might not be a proper big insult, but that's going to cause a bit of damage. Imagine Dr. Phil asking you if you went to the 5th grade.
This results in shocked gasps from the audience, who proceed to clap while Danielle marinates in the burn. It's not easy to get the otherwise calm and collected Dr. Phil to insult you in front of hundreds of people, but Danielle managed to find a way.
The audience might be laughing at her, but she's the one who got the last laugh. At the age of 19, she made $50 million in a year. The only place she's going to be laughing is all the way to the bank.
You, sir, have a black heart. This is a bit of a dark episode. Pamela claims that her ex-husband Pete ran out on their family to be with a massage therapist he met at a couple's retreat.
Oh god, so older people going to the show? I was thinking it was literally like teenagers. There's currently fireworks getting blown up outside my house, don't know why. But anyway, you learn something new every day. It's not just like little brats that go on Dr. Phil.
She also blames him for their 15-year-old son's suicide.
Because I think you have said some things here today that are absolutely reckless.
Pete in turn says that Pamela wanted their son dead. It all culminates in a fiery and destructive 3-minute speech from Phil.
Oh damn right, so they're proper getting into a deep episode. Okay, I was thinking they were just having issues with their marriage, but apparently like their son committed suicide at the age of 15. That's so sad, like he was so young as well.
The host absolutely tears into Pete by calling him reckless and destructive before telling him that he has a black heart.
I pray to God that you don't mean them, because if you do, you, sir, have a black heart.
I mean, he literally like ran off during their marriage, and then like didn't their son commit suicide because of him? He doesn't seem like he's got a loving heart.
Of course, everything is said in that calm Dr. Phil cadence, but you can tell that he is just seething inside. He's not often one to judge people, but he is doing a whole lot of judging here.
Okay, come on, Dr. Phil absolutely judges everyone. If you go onto a Dr. Phil show, you're automatically getting judged. Also, I can't open my eyes, I don't know why. For some reason, whenever I hear like loud noises like fireworks, which are outside, makes my eyes water. So if I look like I'm squinting, it's because of like frickin' fireworks.
Get a job. This kid is so spoiled rotten that Phil resorts to raising his voice. Now that's an accomplishment.
Honestly, sounds like my mum. Get a job. I mean, to be fair, technically YouTube is a job. I make money off it.
Now you say you watch me and you take notes. Well, take this note.
Okay.
In this episode, an aspiring singer, self-named King Keith Franklin VII, believes that becoming famous is more important than a job or an education.
To be fair, that is me. Like, I literally am judging these people whenever I am one of them people. Dr. Phil would absolutely hate me.
As such, the 20-year-old lounges around his mother's house hoping to achieve that goal. Unfortunately, his mother isn't having any of it, and neither is Dr. Phil. The host tears into him by ordering him to pull his own weight and contribute around the house before straight up telling him to get a job.
I mean, to be fair, that's true. You know, if you get to a certain age, you should help out the house, whether that's cleaning the dishes, helping financially. I mean, I know a lot of people who pay rent. I haven't got to that stage yet. My parents haven't asked me. But I mean, you know, if they do, I'll absolutely pay it. Like, I'll chip in a wee bit.
Reality checks can be hard to listen to, especially when they come from a nearly yelling and clearly irate Dr. Phil.
You don't sit around watching Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian or Dr. Phil on television and tell yourself that's a life education. Get a job.
I'm never going to Dr. Phil because I'm going to get told that. I mean, to be fair, Dr. Phil's job is technically just shouting at people. Dr. Phil, why don't you get a job?
You don't put words in my mouth.
I have no reason whatsoever to believe that she's having with anyone.
Don't sound like it.
In this episode, Phil sits down with couple Paul in Alaska. Alaska has a cuddling business and uses provocative photos to market herself. This has led Paul to worry about her sexual behavior and personal safety.
I'm assuming she might be doing OnlyFans or something like that. I mean, at the end of the day, she's basically using the body she was given naturally with, unless she's got like plastic surgery. But I mean, she's using something that everyone has to make money. People always give, you know, people who do that type of stuff a load of slack. I mean, at the end of the day, they're making bank and they're smart.
While defending herself, Alaska Alaska states that Phil has been insinuating various insulting ideas throughout the interview. In her mind, she thinks Phil believes that she sleeps with the men she meets. Of course, this sets Phil right off.
Oh wait, never mind, I think she's maybe meeting up with multiple men. Yeah, she's not doing what I thought she was. I mean, to be fair, if she is doing what I think she's doing, you do have to be very careful with that. You're meeting strangers.
You're supposed to be helping, not making me angry.
No, well, look at me. You don't put words in my mouth, and I'm telling you, if I
I
think...
never said you called me that. I said you're doing innuendos and making it seem like it.
Damn, she's proper clapping back, isn't she? Imagine one day Dr. Phil just like jumps up and like punches someone. I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't surprise me.
He tells Alaska that she shouldn't put words in his mouth before looking her dead in the eyes and stating that he isn't afraid of her. That one woman's "oh damn" expression pretty much sums it up.
I mean, that is literally all of our expressions. That woman in the audience is all of us. Whenever I'm watching my videos and a little kid is being rude, yappy, and irritating, that is me. I'm like, where are your parents?
You are committing a crime. Phil has a short leash when it comes to the mistreatment of children. That is on full display in this dramatic episode that culminates in Phil accusing Kaylee of a crime.
Okay, wait, I think I've actually seen this episode before. I can't remember what goes on, but I do recognize the girl. What is she doing?
When a child is a certain age, they don't have the capacity to give consent.
Kaylee is a dominatrix who gives her 14-year-old daughter alcohol and marijuana.
Oh my god, yeah, never mind. Get that child away from her. Nothing wrong with the dominatrix, however, she's given her daughter that stuff. Kids are gonna do stuff, probably like at the age of 17. I mean, you know, if they're gonna do it, you might as well sit around, or like, if their friends are gonna do it in like your house, so it means you can keep an eye on them. However, she's 14, why are you giving a 14-year-old that?
And allows her teen to have sex. Phil begins Kaylee's roast rather politely, saying that teenagers cannot give consent under the law and that adults need to monitor their behavior.
I'm sorry, what? She's doing what with her daughter? This daughter's 14. What is up with these 14-year-olds and telling you they're crazy?
You can roll your eyes and you can be sarcastic all you want. You are committing a crime.
He's literally being so nice. Like, I'm sorry, if that were me, I'd be going through her. Did you hear what she's doing to her poor daughter?
However, that was just a prelude to the main event. While Phil tells Kaylee about 20 times that she is committing a crime by giving her daughter drugs and permitting her to be physically intimate with other people, Phil is less mad and more dumbfounded over the whole situation, and that makes his reaction all the more entertaining.
I mean, I'm just shocked that like the mum literally hasn't got arrested. Like, she literally is committing crimes. This isn't like a 17-year-old, this is a 14-year-old. What was I doing whenever I was 14? I can't even remember. I was probably doing like school. Like, that was a long time ago. That was nearly 6 years ago. I could not imagine my parents doing that. Like, that's the last thing they do. Even me doing that stuff now, they'd stop me.
Let me please have an intelligent conversation. Many of the previous entries showed a frustrated Dr. Phil. Here, he is positively irate, and it is oh so satisfying.
Let me please have an intelligent conversation without you two bickering back and forth, because I don't want to hear it.
I just love how he's been doing this since 2002. Like, he's been doing this for literally 20 years. Dr. Phil's been on the American TV screens annihilating people for the past 20 years.
First, he shows frustration with an interjection, saying, "Let me please have an intelligent conversation." And when the guest ignores Phil and begins bickering, he simply sits back and folds his arms like an ignored and irritated parent.
Go ahead, y'all don't need me for this. You can do this in the parking lot.
He literally is like an old granddad. He's just angry. I mean, that's basically who he is. Yet again, I wonder where he finds these people, because he seems to get a lot of weird people. I'm telling you, about half of these people probably went on the show for attention.
But before the woman can finish, Phil interrupts and goes off about his guest's children, which culminates in him telling her to shut up. Here we see all the telltale signs of seething anger: insults, folded arms, interruptions, yelling, sarcastic rhetorical questions, and exasperated hand gestures.
Yet again, he's been so nice. Like, he only told them to shut up. It's not like he proper cuts them out. Me with my anger issues, like, I'm sorry I could not do this. Because if I was talking to someone like spoke over me, I'm telling you, they'd be gone. They wouldn't have any more problems because their life would be disintegrated.
My dad used to tell me, never pass up a good chance to shut up.
The man is absolutely fuming, and it is terrifying.
I mean, to be fair, it's not that scary. It's also kind of cute. If you had a dog growing up, I feel like everyone done this. Did you ever like purposely annoy the dog? My dog would never bite me, but you know, if you were irritating her, you know, pushing her button, she'd sort of like flash her teeth to basically signal get away from me. Sometimes I would continually poke her just to irritate her, just because I thought it was funny. And do you want to know something? I'm surprised she didn't snap my face off.
Kicking off Bum Fights producer. For those who are unaware, Bum Fights was a film that saw homeless people performing amateur stunts for small amounts of money or alcohol.
I'm sorry, what? So they're basically getting homeless people to do crazy stuff for alcohol and small small amounts of money. Hello, this literally seems like torture.
The video was enormously controversial and has even been banned in various countries.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. You're literally taking homeless people who've been through a lot, they have a very hard life, and making them do your dirty work for entertainment. Where are these people? Like, why are they so evil?
A man who bought the film rights, known as the alias Ty Beeson, appeared on Dr. Phil hilariously dressed as Dr. Phil. However, his appearance lasted for less than a minute before he was kicked off.
Oh my god, wait, Dr. Phil literally kicked him off. We paused the video here, but please don't tell me that's him. He's literally dressed as Dr. Phil. You're telling me this man literally, like, bullies homeless people for entertainment, money, and gives them, like, alcohol? Yeah, again, where'd you find these people?
Stop the tape. I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
That's despicable. I don't want to talk to you. You can go.
I mean, to be fair, I'm with Dr. Phil. He might be a bit problematic and has done stupid things, but I mean, I'm with him in that one. I feel like we can all agree on something, and it is that what he done was utterly unacceptable.
Phil stated that he didn't want to talk to Ty and promptly had him escorted off the stage by security. This is worse than yelling. This is like when your parents say they're disappointed and refuse to speak to you. In a way, we don't think we've ever seen Phil so angry.
I mean, yet again, this man literally sat in hair and makeup to turn into Dr. Phil to be in the show for a minute, so he got his 1 minute of fame. I mean, I wonder what he's doing now. Is he still bullying more homeless people?
If you think I exploit people, every time you bring a guest on this show, you exploit them and spread whatever problems they have to the whole world. You think that's helping them?
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. You can go.
I mean, to be fair, I kind of do agree with him in that bit. He does sort of exploit people, but all these shows do. Jerry Springer, Jeremy Kyle, Dr. Phil, Judge Judy. For example, yesterday's video where, like, the son literally stole his dad's wife. Like, he is absolutely getting exploited. Where does that happen? But to be the devil's advocate, Dr. Phil is not as bad as you. This man literally picked on homeless people, made them do crazy stunts for alcohol and small amounts of money. He is evil.
Sexy vegan.
I am the beautiful vegan messiah.
Okay, never mind. I think this man is definitely being exploited and probably would be picked on by the last guy. Maybe Dr. Phil is as bad as him.
Sexy vegan has earned his place in the Dr. Phil Hall of Fame thanks to his eccentric physical appearance and reckless antics. And in this particular episode, his antics are on full display. He sings a little theme song, brags about his sexiness, and moonwalks down the aisle before calling his mother an ugly piece of effing shit.
Oh my god, what? Whoa, I did not expect that coming. So he went to Dr. Phil acting crazy, started dancing, then called his mum a slur. Oh my god, where are you finding these men yet again?
Suffice it to say, that was the last straw for Phil.
Hey, look at me.
Let's
look
see
at
your
me.
talent.
No, hey.
I mean, to be fair, he can proper moonwalk. You'd think that's Michael Jackson. Maybe he is Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't know. He's acting pretty weird. This man's definitely on something. He's not a sexy vegan. He's an ugly meth head.
No, you need to look at me.
I don't have to do
Okay, take him out.
What's the point of you going on if you're not going to sit down and talk to Dr. Phil? He literally went there acting crazy, had a bit of a boogie, and then walked off. He's just wasted his time.
He forcefully tells Sexy Vegan to stop and actually gives him a chance to listen before kicking him out and apologizing to his audience.
I mean, I'm sure he can storm off and be friends with the vegan teacher. I feel like him and her would get along very well.
Phil has some mad patience, so to see him kicking someone out over their toxic behavior truly says a lot about his and Sexy Vegan's tumultuous relationship.
I mean, I'm sure he can go and cry about a cow. Dr. Phil ain't gonna care that much.
Are you kidding me?
You should be punched in the face for how you acted.
In this episode, Phil shows a troubling clip of 3 adults bickering at a Little League baseball practice.
Oh my god, that was a bit savage, wasn't it? Who's this woman and why is she literally threatening the cameraman?
The adults can be heard calling each other crazy and insulting each other's hair colors and outfits.
I mean, to be fair, that's a very boomer and adult, like, argument. They're insulting each other's haircuts and, like, hair color. I mean, to be fair, my haircut's looking a bit crazy. But come on, like, there's so many things you can insult them about and you choose the color of their hair.
One even says that the other should be punched in the face. Phil in turn brings up the out-of-frame children and literally shakes with anger when screaming,
Are you kidding me?
After some much-deserved roasting, it all ends with a very exasperated Phil leaning back in his chair and saying,
Come on.
Oh my god, apparently Dr. Phil nearly had a stroke there. But yet again, like, what are they arguing about? Why are they arguing? I'm interested, I want to know what the tea is.
Phil really hates it when children are involved in adult immaturity and stupidity.
I mean, yeah, like, you'd think adults are, like, more mature than children, but actually no. I would say kids nowadays are much more mature than an adult. I mean, we've seen some crazy adults in this video.
Kicking out an internet stalker. This is a legendary episode of Dr. Phil, and it comes with one of the best Phil reactions of all time.
It's the love story of the century, but you've never physically met.
This seems like a Twitter stand to me. I mean, internet stalking is very real. I've seen people get internet stalked. It's quite crazy.
The guest is Bailey, a young adult who liked a stranger's tweet and promptly fell in love. Bailey sent the woman thousands of messages declaring her love, even though they had never even met.
Okay, yeah, so this woman on Twitter's getting stalked by this crazy woman, Bailey. I mean, look, I'm all for looking at people and thinking, wow, she's beautiful, I'm gonna follow her because I think she's beautiful. But you sent her thousands of messages.
You can all laugh at me. It's
Well,
fine.
you know what? I think we're just going to shut this down because I'm not into all this melodrama and you playing the victim and everything.
After Bailey plays a victim, Phil quickly shuts the entire interview down.
Fair play to him, because whenever a victim plays the victim mentality game, they're always going to be the victim. They're never going to realize that what they done was wrong. I mean, think of it, she's literally harassed a poor woman. Imagine receiving like thousands of messages, especially from someone you don't know.
Saying that he's not interested in the melodrama and manipulation. Now think about that. Phil was so incensed at Bailey's behavior that he refused to listen or help, despite claims of wanting to do so, and just kicked her off instead. Sure, he never raised his voice, but actions speak a heck of a lot louder than words.
I mean, to be fair, Phil, you have to be careful because she might start to stalk you. At the end of the day, people like that, you just need to call the police. Like, the police will sort it out. Internet stalking is a real thing, and there's also like internet harassment. Like, I swear you can get put into jail for that. If you do like stalk someone and cause them extreme grave pain and make them basically paranoid, you can get put into jail if they like report you.
You're very manipulative and I'm not interested in all of that. So I'm going to let Bailey move on.
And just like that, the video ended. Well, anyways, guys, that's sometimes Dr. Phil lost it. I'd low-key love to argue with Dr. Phil, but then I'd also be kind of scared that he'd like yap at me. Well, anyways, that's where I leave that video there. Hit that big red subscribe button, and yes, I'll see you all in my next video.